Coach, I guess just a general question. Where kind of give us a schedule of where y'all are practice wise and what the next step is and preseason and all that.
So we have 8 weeks in the summer that you can be on the floor with the guys. You're limited with the hours per the NCAA guidelines, but because of not having everybody here in June, it was more individual skill development, not more, all individual skill development. Didn't do anything physically in terms of competition. And then once we got into the second half of the last 4 weeks, when we had some more guys that arrive on campus, we started putting in some general schemes, kind of introducing some things that we'll do both on the offense and defensive end. So we had a couple handfuls of practices of the shorter variety over those 4 weeks, while still doing some skill development within the practice that we did daily. And then they all are just getting back from break with school beginning on Wednesday. They're all trickling back into town, and they got some responsibilities the next couple of days before we get back going on Wednesday.
You saw the announcement with the neutral site game with Drake today. How close is that schedule to being wrapped up outside of the SEC announcing their dates?
Yeah, we're done other than getting some contracts signed, routed through campuses. That's all we're waiting on, and obviously if nothing goes awry, and we know dates and opponents, etc., and we're just waiting to be able to release it to the public. And but I'm sure it's going to be days now. Hopefully real soon we'll be able to release that schedule.
Go ahead, Theo.
I know it's hard to assess when you talked about, it's kind of all individual skill development, but what do you think of the roster you're putting together for this season?
Yeah, I mean, we're a work in progress, like probably most teams across the country, but I've been impressed with their coachability. They've had great demeanors, great approaches, great attitudes from the jump, and that was, you just never know, when you're piecemealing a team together in your first year with some returnees, and obviously signing new guys to the program all summer long. So that's what stuck out the most is, they listened well, they were about it, they bought in. Certainly we're just dipping our toes in the shallow water right now, and it'll ramp up as we get going again here in the fall, and then certainly when we get to the 42 days out from the first game, when you can really go full throttle with practice and training, etc. But I thought we had a pretty good summer considering where we're at roster-wise.
Steph, to coach's left.
Yeah, going back to the non-conference that you were talking about there, I guess you've been in programs before where you've had kind of a new team that you're trying to mesh at the start of the year. I guess how do you assess what you're looking for in a non-conference slate, while also trying to get wins, because you got pretty tough slate at least from first look.
I think we have a pretty aggressive non-conference schedule, how it has unfolded, and there's always factors in play when you're putting it together, but my plan will always be to challenge our guys in the fall, for a number of different reasons. One, the obvious, to prepare for the daunting SEC schedule, but at the same time, you've got to always be thinking about at-large possibilities and putting your team in the best position to where you have opportunities, to beat people that are the higher net teams, the quadrants, etc. So I think it's a balancing act of challenging your team and putting them in that type of position and preparing them for the SEC schedule.